You're not going to win all of them, but Carolina at home especially this year, and they're above water again at 7-6, 31-28. A win by growing before our eyes, Bryce Young.
We want to take it one game at a time. Stuff we can't control, stuff that, we can't look too far ahead. But, we know that, there's stuff at stake. For us, it's just being consistent with our process. That's the thing about this team. It's never needed motivation. It's never needed incentive to go and chase greatness. So, again, for us, we'll have a week to reset.
We've dealt with adversity before. We'll deal with it again, and we'll handle it the right way. And I can't wait to lean in. Sometimes when things go well, these can be blessings in disguise if you use them the right way. You didn't want it to happen. We came out here with the expectation to win the football game. It didn't go down like that for us, and now we get a chance to be able to move forward and see how we handle a little bit of a challenge. And it's been a while since we felt this way.
Right, the 6-game winning streak snapped. The Rams are still 9-3, so it's not, oh my God, the sky is falling. You're not going to win all of them. Carolina really growing in front of our eyes. And it started raining in the second half. You figured, well, what did they do? They ran it, 40 times for 164. Yeah. They controlled.
Boom, the biggest thing about this game is you watch this game unfold. It felt like Carolina belonged. We came into this game saying that the Rams were the best team in football, but never did it look like Carolina was overwhelmed. The defense was outstanding. Derek Brown was tipping ball. Sack calls fumble. They were turning the Rams over. They were physical. It felt like at times they were the more physical team. The Rams would score. Bryce Young would come right back and score. They never backed down from what we think is the best team in football. And to me, that was a win. But for them to win this football game and to stay a half a game behind the Buccaneers in the South was an outstanding performance because of how they did it. It was a team win. Dave Canales trusted Bryce Young. 2 touchdowns on 4th down.
Unbelievable.
On 4th down. It was a really good performance, and it showed me that they have what it takes to win the South.
Something to keep in perspective. Carolina's 7-6. By the way, they get a bye next week, so that'll be very helpful for them.
Late byes are always helpful.
The Chiefs are 6-6. They have a better record than the Chiefs. Just to put in perspective what they've done. Rams. Look, Matthew Stafford isn't going to go the rest of the year without turnovers. I get it.
Yeah.
But here's interesting. This was the first time, and of course in a seesaw game, that the Rams have trailed at any point in a game since week 6. So that's in early to mid-October? Point is, they weren't down by a lot. But when your defense plays knowing you're up 3, 7, 10, 14. Now they were, within 3 most of the time. But it didn't allow them to tee off. That would be my antenna's up watching forward if the Rams trail in future games.
It's a team that's...
Is that fair?
It's very fair. It's a team that's used to playing from in front. And today, maybe because it never rains in Southern California, you had rain, you had cold weather, and you had a team that was matching them count point for point and back and forth. And so I think the Rams have to look at this. Was this a bump in the road or cause for concern? I think it was a bump in the road. Stafford turned the football over 3 times. I don't think that's going to happen. I think defensively they will play a little bit better. The biggest problem that the Rams had coming into this year was their secondary. 2 4th down touchdowns. If you're the Rams, you got to make sure that the secondary stays tight because the rest of their team I'm not concerned about.
So had the kick been no good? We don't know. We're just going on what you and I all saw. Meanwhile, here's the big story. The Houston Texans were 0-3. They were 3-5. They've won 4 in a row. They win in Indy 20-16. The Colts have fallen to 8-4. Jeff Darlington with Will Anderson of the #1 ranked defense.
Will, this was strength on strength. We knew that this was a good Colts offense, a great Houston defense. How were you guys able to stifle them?
Yeah, man, I think it just goes back to our mentality and who we are as a team, man. And it's just playing complementary football, man. It's not just a defense, offense, just special teams set us up to get on some good field positions, man. So it's just everybody playing complementary football, swarming.
No one's losing confidence, or certainly no one is, gonna get, too wound up about it. But we know what we have to do, and we know we have to improve and make progress. So, I expect guys to be ready to go, and we've got to have a good week. We got to make sure we clean some stuff up.
The Jaguars dominate. They win 25-3. Lawrence threw for 229. The Jags are 8-4. They play home against Indy next week in a first-place game. They've won 3 in a row, and Tennessee has lost 7 straight. So Where do we start? Let's start with the Jaguars. I understand it's Tennessee. They haven't won a lot.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence, you pointed out in the highlights. Calm and cool. He hasn't had all the games like that this year. But when he's like that, they look like, well, a team tied for first place.
Well, without a doubt. And when you, like, the biggest thing you notice when you watch Lawrence is the back foot hits and the ball comes out. Back foot hits and the ball comes out. He's playing in rhythm. When he plays in rhythm, then he starts to remind you of what we thought he could be when he was drafted number 1 overall. He's 6'6". He's 235, 240 pounds. And it's about time that he start playing like the generational quarterback. And today was one of those days. I just got to get more consistency out of him, Boom. They're now 8-4. They're right there at the top of the AFC South. The running game with ETN and Tootin, you see Hines Allen, you see Trayvon Walker. Liam Cohen is one of the better play callers in football, even though this is his first year. The quarterback has got to be consistent. Today he was, and they look really good.
Look at the 3 of the first-year coaches. Liam Cohen, Jacksonville tied for first.
Yes.
Mike Vrabel, Patriots.
Yes.
I mean, they have the best record in the AFC going into the weekend. Of course, Ben Johnson, Bears. I mean, they're number 1 or number 2 seed at the moment. New coaches, who said it takes them a while to get their feet wet? Now, C.J. Stroud had been out for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Took him a little bit to get his feet wet. I thought he threw the ball well today for Houston.
He threw the ball well. They ran the football decent enough, but he was accurate with the football. His superpower is how fast he processes and how quickly the ball comes out. And when he's back there and the ball comes out on time, in rhythm, now you get Nico Collins involved. But let's not twist the story. This is the best defense in football.
Yes.
And when you have the best defense in football, it allows you some luxuries and some flexibilities on offense. You don't have to panic. You don't have to try to press things. C.J. Stroud came back today, took what the defense gave him. He got everybody involved. They ran the football good enough. This is a championship defense. The quarterback and the offense have to become a little bit more dependable. Today they were. Before, Davis Mills was playing better than C.J. Today, C.J. came back and said, you know what? I need to play better, and he did.
Look, Colts lost close game to Houston.
Yeah.
Close the week before in
Yes.
overtime to Kansas City. It's not like, oh, my God, they got beat 44-3.
Right.
However, losing 3 of 4, and again, Taylor ran, 85. It's not nothing, but they have a schedule. Again, I don't want to get into this in every team, but at Jacksonville, at Seattle, home San Francisco, home Jacksonville, at Houston. Bottom line is all 5 have winning records. There's some things they need to button up.
It's definitely some things they need to button up. My biggest concern with Indy, I'm not worried about the quarterback. When the quarterback doesn't have the runner, though, when the running game is not there, then when the quarterback has it all on his shoulders, then I get concerned. Taylor, in their wins, man, Taylor's producing. In their losses, he's not getting that. He gets to about 80 yards. That's not good enough. The defense is not dominant, but it's good enough. They have to run the football, limit the number of defensive snaps, and then the quarterback, when he gets his opportunities, hey, he's got to go 3 for 4. He doesn't have to bat 1,000, but he's got to hit the layups because Shane Steichen is going to provide layups for him. He's got to hit those.
So in this division, we got 3 to the post.
Yeah.
Now, which we weren't sure we would have with the Houston starting out so poorly. You got Indy, you got Jacksonville, you got Houston. They're playing each other. It'll be fun. So San Francisco, given a couple breaks, a little gamble by Cleveland, some special teams where the Niners were much better than the Browns, and they beat the Browns 26-8. The Niners are 9-4 for George Kittle.
I think looking from the outside in, if people would have said, hey, you guys are going to be 9-4 going into the bye and you're not going to have Fred Warner or Nick Bosa and Kittle's going to miss the first 5 weeks and Brock's going to miss 6-7 games, I think a lot of people would have laughed at everybody. And, kudos to our coaching staff, Coach Shanahan, Lynch for bringing in the right guys to fill in those spots, developing players, to take advantage of those situations. How about Cleveland Farrell, just coming back? It's fantastic. I think we're set up really well. It's these bye weeks, get tricky because I think guys have just been looking forward to it. And so, our message, I think Kyle say the message tomorrow is just like, hey, get away, do whatever you have to do. But just remember when we come back, we have 4 incredibly difficult games that are going to hopefully set us up to do something fun, after the last game.
So, again, what he's saying is the Niners are one of the last teams for the bye, like Carolina, like New England after Monday, like the Giants. For San Francisco, we're going to link them with Tampa on what he said for a minute. So they got – it's a game They don't play there much.
Yeah.
But they haven't won there since Bill Walsh was head coach in 1984, a Super Bowl year for the Niners. 1984. That's a long time ago. They won, and it was a game they could have lost. It doesn't look like it on the scoreboard.
It was a game they could have lost, but they won it. It was workmanlike fashion. You know, the biggest takeaway was if you watch Brock Purdy play Monday night, 3 interceptions in 3 consecutive drives, I thought it was important for him to come out and get that taste out of his mouth, play in rhythm, play on time. You don't want to create noise. A lot of noise already out there about Mac Jones, went 5-3 as a starter. Purdy comes back, throws the 3 picks, and you don't want the noise to get any louder. So I thought it was imperative that he come out, play on time, play in rhythm to get this win, and for him to be turnover free. I thought this was well for his psyche and for his confidence, and that'll bode well for the 49ers.
It will. The reason I linked San Francisco and Tampa Bay is not because they're in the same conference. I know there's other teams that have had injuries, but the Niners and the Bucs have had more frontline injuries than anybody from like the start of the year, and you don't hear a thing about it from them, even from their fans. And so, like the Niners won, Kittle pointed out, the Buccaneers have won. It wasn't pretty again, but yet they have a much, quote, easier schedule down the stretch. They're back on point.
And you think about those 2 coaches you mentioned, Shanahan and Todd Bowles.
Yeah, there you go.
They don't make excuses. 2 of the better football coaches in this league. One's an offensive guy, one's a defensive guy. They don't make excuses. They just roll their sleeves up and go to work. And I think their teams, you often hear the teams take the personality of who? Their coach. And I think both teams take the personality of either one of those guys, and that's why they don't make excuses.
Didn't gain in the standings on a Baltimore team that was shocked by Cincinnati on Thursday night. Courtney Cronin after the game with James Cook, who certainly was cooking.
If you hear this stat and you're surprised by it, this is the most rushing yards an opponent has ever put up in this stadium. How does that sit with you?
I mean, it feels good, you know, against a tremendous defense like that, you know, well coached with great players, you know. I mean, I just try to come in here and just do my job and play my game.
What goes through your mind when the crowd chanting to fire you in your home stadium?
Man, I share their frustration tonight, man. We didn't do enough. And that's just reality.
The Chargers, despite the injury to Herbert, wins 31-14 to up their mark to 8-4 coach Jim Harbaugh on what he knew right after the game about Herbert's injury.
Yeah, he had a break in the back of the hand, and he's going to have a procedure done tomorrow on it.
Is he going to miss any time?
Don't know about that. We'll see where the week takes us.
Well, and so the Chargers, we don't know if they're going to be without him, although that's certainly getting a snap and certain things. And a procedure done. Trey Lance would be the backup.
Yeah.
Obviously, that changes some things if they have to go that way. We don't know at the moment.
When he said procedure, I think we can kind of read between the lines. There's probably going to be surgery on that left hand. The good thing, it's his non-throwing hand. And we hope he can come back without missing any time. But even if he does come back, they got to run the football. As you talk about, be more physical. He shouldn't have to throw the football 35 times a game. Run the football, they get Hampton back. That's how they should play. This quarterback has been banged up a lot. He's been hit a lot in his career. You got to limit the number of times he gets hits. Harbaugh said he would do that. So far this year, it's gone the opposite way. He's getting hit a lot.
They play the Eagles on a Monday night. That's the cartoon game, right? That's the
Monsters, Inc.
The Monsters, Inc.
Have you ever seen
Monsters?
Have you ever seen Monsters?
I haven't. I think I'm in it, but we'll see. As for the Bills, well, here's the formula. They ran for what? Where's my card? It's somewhere here. 249. That would win you most games, especially if Pittsburgh ran for like 50 or 60. And Josh Allen throws for what, 130? Fine. Just fine. They played good defense. They ran the ball. Sounds like cold weather football to me.
It travels. You can take it anywhere. Sometimes Superman needs a day off. Like, I get it. We love to see him put the cape on, but Josh Allen doesn't need to do it a lot. And we said it in the first quarter watching this game. If you're the Bills, the two best players on their entire football team are the quarterback and the tailback. Let the tailback carry the load sometimes. You knew the Steelers couldn't stop the run early on. Those guys wanted no part of it, and I thought the Bills' offensive line did an outstanding job. And if you're Cook, you got to demand the football a little bit more. He's got to hold on to it. But this is how they can play, Boom. They can play with a lot of teams if they run the football behind the offensive line, and then when you need those special plays, a lot of quarterback to do it. The defense can be very opportunistic. They're not going to stop. They're not going to shut anybody out, but they can create turnovers if Bosa stays healthy and you got those guys on the back end. So there's a way for Buffalo to win a lot of games. Today really mimicked that way.
Well, and they did this with the two starting tackles hurt.
Yes.
And
Yes.
they ran for over 250 yards
Yes.
against Pittsburgh on the road.
In that state,
Steelers, they beat New England early. They had that win a few weeks ago over the Colts, but it's not looking like it was supposed to. Is that kind of a nice way to put it?
It's a great way to put. This iteration of the Steelers seems to be fading away. And by this iteration, I'm talking about the Hayward, the Watt, like being a dominant defensive team. The quarterback was going to try to come in and try to be a missing piece. He's 41 years old. Today he looked 41. Every time he gets hit, he looks like a guy who mentally is asking himself, why am I out here at this stage of my life? And I think the longer the season goes, the colder the weather gets, the more he's going to feel that way. And you heard Mike Tomlin answer the question about how does it feel when they're saying fire Mike Tomlin. And I thought he answered the question very profoundly. I feel the same way when we perform that way. They realize they're not getting it done. And I think at some point they got to, because this has been a few years now. We're looking for this. We're looking for something, but we keep doing the same things over and over. Plug a quarterback in. Let's go with the veteran defense. At some point, I think the Steelers have to figure out something different.